Hi YouTube. Today's video is on relationships within your life. I don't mean just relationships like boyfriend, girlfriend, like those kind of relationships. I mean like all relationships, friendships, your best friends, relationships within your family, any relationship that you come across in your life, and how to deal with those relationships and tough decisions that you're going to have to make in those relationships, especially when you deal with like depression, self-harm, and eating disorders, um, anything like that. So what inspired me to make this video is very recently a friend of mine was hospitalized for depression. At least I believe he was. The reason I say I believe he was is because he called me the day before he was due for intake, saying, I'm in the hospital, I'm going to inpatient tomorrow, bye. I picked up the phone, that was all he ever said. I've been best friends with this person for about a year and a half. He saved my life when I was at my lowest, and I owe everything to this person. I would not be here today without that person. This is difficult for me to talk about, but he hadn't talked to me a week prior to that, so it was a Thursday that he called me, and the Thursday before was the last time we talked, and that's unusual for us. Usually we talk about once a day. So he texted me first, and then he called me, and I was like, something's gotta be wrong. He's calling me, he never calls me. And I picked up the phone. I was in cooking class. I went to the bathroom, picked up the phone, I was like, what's going on? I'm at the hospital. I'm going into inpatient tomorrow. I'm going to be evaluated and stuff. And I was like, wait, what? Like, what's going on? Last time I talked to you, you were doing really well, and, like, you were okay. I mean, you weren't, like, okay, but you were pretty centered, and you were gonna do an outpatient program at a hospital, like, go there for a day, go home for the night, and do that, like, 8 hours a day. It's this thing they run around here. I'm pretty sure they have it all over the U.S., where you go to a hospital, like a psychiatric ward of a hospital, for about 8 hours a day. It's like school. You go to different groups, different individual therapies and stuff like that, and then you go home for the day. And then you go home and go the next morning. I do that for a few months. It's something that's less severe than inpatient therapy. However, it's school, basically. It's mental school. But anyways, so, he was saying I'm being evaluated to see if I can do that, or if I'm doing inpatient. And the week I talked to him before, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm just going to do that, because I think that's pretty much, that's going to help me. And then he calls me next week, I'm getting blood drawn, I'm at the hospital for intake tomorrow, and all of a sudden, this is, but it hit me. It hit me like a ton of bricks. Not even gonna lie, because this is one of the hugest rocks in my life. As I've said before, he has helped me through things that otherwise, without him, I would not have made it. And that's not to downgrade any of my other friends. I have a best friend who lives halfway across the country from me, who has saved my life tons of times. But at the time, I was just lost, and I needed someone here. And he was there. And he saved me. And we had a fallout in our friendship earlier this year. Back in October. He had stopped talking to me, wouldn't pick up my calls, wouldn't answer my texts. And eventually it ended with him just being like, I can't do this. I'm sorry. I'm done. It was really sudden. It was the day after his birthday he started not talking to me and being really distant. I was really confused and I was really hurt. And he finally talked to me in December over Christmas break. And we got over it. We were really good friends. He promised me it's never going to happen again. It's never going to happen again. Now, here I am, almost a month later. I haven't heard from him in almost a month. And he's not talking to me. I know he's not an inpatient. because I check his Facebook and he's talking to people on there. He's talking to his friends. And I know that, like, sometimes you're allowed to use internet and stuff and impatient. But, you know, he's home. Because he's working at this camp that I knew he was really excited about. I've seen pictures of him working there, and, you know, he's just not talking to me. So, ultimately, what I've pretty much figured out is that I think our friendship has yet again come to a fallout. And that's what brings me to this video, is that, you know, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with someone who you've devoted a lot to, who has saved your life, especially like a really important friendship like this, like I've said, that saved your life? How do you deal with it if they walk away from you, not once, but twice? Do you give them that second chance? And that's what this video is about today. That was a 6-minute intro, that was really long. But basically, I talked about it with my boyfriend, and he was like, "You're his rag doll." Honestly, like, that's what I see this friendship as, is you're his rag doll, which it means to him that, you know, I'm there when he needs me. Like, he treats me like gold when he needs me, and when he doesn't need me, or when the friendship is inconvenient for him, I get pushed aside, which, I mean, is somewhat accurate, somewhat not. But either way, I mean, he doesn't exactly treat the friendship the right way, and I've come to realize that the relationship isn't exactly healthy for me. I'm trying to recover right now. I'm trying to make it so that I can actually move on with my life from all these things that I've been holding inside. I'll make an update video soon and update you on a lot of things that have happened recently. But I'm really trying to get better, and I'm trying to move on with my life. But, you know, being stuck and wishing, you know, like, why won't you talk to me? Why aren't you here? Why aren't you experiencing this with me? Doesn't help. And I know it hurts. It hurts a lot. And there are times when you're just like, I really need you right now. Holy heck, get over here. But you have to realize that you can't let yourself be their ragdoll. If they're gonna throw you aside and then expect to just pick you back up, no matter what, like, they just think that, okay, well, I don't need you right now, so bye. And then you sit there and you're in pain for months, and they're out living their life, and they're fine. And then suddenly, a few months later, they're in pain again, and they need you, and you're like, oh, I'm here. And then it happens over and over again. But you can't put yourself through that. You can, and it comes down to a tough decision, which is what this video is basically about, is you need to make the decision to either, you know, give them that last chance, or just be like, I can't do this anymore, I need to take care of myself. Because although it sounds bad, what should come first in your life when it comes to your mental health is you. You need to take care of yourself first and foremost before you take care of everybody else. It's like on a plane. The rule is put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you put it on anybody else. It's the same rule with taking care of your mental health. Put your oxygen mask first before you put anybody else's on. The oxygen mask is, you know, you taking care of yourself, you making sure that you're stable enough to deal with everybody else's problems. Which is why, you know, you'll see me kind of back off from this for maybe a week or so. I'll still talk to you guys, I'll still be there, but I won't be able to be like, I'm here, you know, come here, come talk to me, come here. Because sometimes, you know, you need to take care of yourself. You need to put yourself first. No matter how much that person means to you, you need to take care of yourself. And I know that's really, really hard. Especially if they mean the world to you, and especially if you've devoted everything to and you feel like you owe your life to them because they saved your life. But, you know, if they really cared about you, they wouldn't throw you around like that. And, like, some people will say, you know, and I said this for a long time, you know, they're going through a lot, so they don't know what they're doing, you know, you have to just deal with it, you have to just put up with it. That's not true. I mean, I don't want to say it's completely not true, because some part of it is true. Some part of it, you know, like once or twice when they do it and they're just like, it's because they're so messed up. They don't know how to deal with relationships, and some people are like that. They push people away, and then they come back and they realize, oh my god, I'm so sorry. But the thing is, you have to make them realize that even though you love them and you care for them, you want to be there for them, you can't be pushed away all the time. And they need to realize that they need to work on that. They can't just get away with that. And that's just how it really, like, that's how you gotta have to take care of yourself. It's the first step, taking care of yourself, is making sure you put on your oxygen mask first before you put on anybody else's. So you have to make those tough decisions in your relationships, and whether it be someone you've been with for a long time, like if they are dragging you down and if they're just throwing you around, sometimes, it hurts, but if they're doing more harm than they are good, it's time to let go. Until, maybe it's not permanent. Maybe, you can just let them go for a while, say, hey, I think we both need to get ourselves centered, and then we can come back to this. And it's the same for everything else. It doesn't exactly work like that in a family relationship, because especially if it's your parents, but you can distance yourself and say, look, I need to take care of myself. Give yourself that mental stability before you deal with everything else in your life, which is hard, and that's why for a little while I was considering inpatient, because I needed to deal with my mental health before I dealt with everything else that was going on. You need to deal with your inner demons before you deal with your outer demons. So, just keep that in mind, guys. Sorry, this was a kind of messed up video. I have to get ready. I'm seeing my nephew for the first time in a year. So, yay me. I hope you guys are doing well. I will talk to you next Friday, probably, unless I'm in the Cape. Yeah, I do a lot of traveling lately. If I can't get a video out to you next Friday, I'll do one sometime next week. Pinky promise. And you'll get to meet my best friend who lives halfway across the country, but she'll be here next week. So, thumbs up to that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, sorry it was kind of all over the place and kind of rambling. I didn't really have time to prepare anything. I totally forgot today was Friday, and I know it was like, video's back, first Friday of July, so I had to get something out. I guess I could have just got an update video, but I didn't. Oh well. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, oxygen mask on you first, and then everybody else. Take care of yourself, guys. I love you.